I sabotaged my roommate's interview because she always makes fun of my career. Now she's jobless and wants my help. I never imagined myself as the kind of person who would sabotage someone's career, but when you're pushed to your limits, sometimes your actions surprise you. My roommate, let's call her Sarah, has always been the kind of person who sees herself as superior to others. It's not just me who thinks this. Practically everyone who interacts with her picks up on it. But being her roommate for the past year has been nothing short of exhausting. When we first moved in together, I thought we'd be friends. I genuinely wanted that. We'd both just graduated and were starting out in our respective fields. She was in marketing, and I was trying to make it as a freelance writer. I knew it wasn't a glamorous or particularly stable career path, but it's what I loved. I took odd jobs and worked late nights, always hustling to make ends meet. Sarah, on the other hand, landed a cushy internship straight out of college at a big firm. I was happy for her, but it didn't take long for her to start making little comments about my choice of work. The first incident was a few months into living together. I had just finished a small project for a local blog and was feeling pretty proud of it. I showed Sarah the article, and she barely glanced at it before saying, "You know, anyone can write stuff online. It's not like it's real work." I laughed it off at the time, but it stung. I put so much effort into that piece, and to have it dismissed like that was tough. I tried to convince myself that maybe she didn't mean it the way it sounded, but that wasn't the end of it. One night, after a few drinks, she got really into it. We were with a group of friends at our apartment, and the topic of careers came up. She pointed at me and announced, "Well, not everyone here has a real job. Some of us just write random stuff for pennies." I was mortified. Everyone laughed, and I just sat there forcing a smile. Later I confronted her about it, and she just brushed it off as a joke, telling me not to be so sensitive. The breaking point came a few weeks before the sabotage. I had just landed a pretty decent gig writing web content for a startup, and I was genuinely thrilled. Sarah found out because I was celebrating with a friend over the phone. Later that night, she cornered me in the kitchen and asked, "So, how much are they paying you? Is it enough to buy groceries this month?" It wasn't even a joke anymore. It was pure malice. I didn't respond, just nodded, and went back to my room. Her superiority complex didn't stop there. Sometimes she'd invite her coworkers over for drinks, and they'd all sit around talking about their latest achievements. Sarah would introduce me as the aspiring writer, making sure to emphasize the word aspiring like it was some cute little hobby. Once, one of her friends asked me what I actually did all day since writing couldn't take that much time. I was embarrassed and furious, but I couldn't find the words to defend myself in that moment. Then there was the time she caught me on a video call with a client. She walked by, glanced at my screen, and scoffed loud enough for my client to hear. Later she joked about how I looked so professional in pajamas, and I couldn't help but feel humiliated. I had to apologize to the client, blaming it on a noisy roommate. Then came the opportunity to get back at her. Sarah had been talking nonstop about an upcoming job interview at a prestigious company. It was her dream job, and she was obsessed with every little detail, rehearsing answers, and ironing her best outfit. I knew exactly when the interview was scheduled, because she'd been counting down the days. The night before the interview, she asked me to print out her resume and portfolio since her printer had run out of ink. I agreed, but as I sat at my computer, I was seething from all the pent-up frustration. Without really thinking it through, I altered her resume, just enough to make her look unprofessional. A few grammatical errors, a misspelled company name, and a completely made-up job title. The next morning, she thanked me without even checking the documents and rushed out. Hours later, she came back looking devastated. She barely spoke, just locked herself in her room. I felt a flicker of guilt, but I pushed it down. Part of me felt she deserved it after all the belittling. Over the next few days, she was quieter than usual, not her usual arrogant self. I almost started to feel sorry for her. Then, about a week later, she found out. Apparently, someone at the company had pointed out the mistakes to her, and she put two and two together. She barged into my room, furious, demanding to know why I'd done it. I didn't deny it. I couldn't. Instead, I just sat there waiting for her to finish yelling. When she threatened to report me to the landlord, I finally spoke up. I told her how she made me feel, how every snide comment chipped away at my self-worth. To my surprise, she didn't yell back. She just stared at me, speechless, before storming out. Now I'm left with this sinking feeling. Part of me still thinks she deserved a taste of her own medicine, but I can't shake the guilt. She hasn't talked to me since, and I overheard her telling a friend that she might have to move back home because she can't find another job. I didn't think it would go this far. It's eating me up inside, and I'm not sure if I'm the villain, or just a person who finally snapped after being pushed too far. Maybe I should apologize. Maybe I should try to help her get back on her feet. I know what I did was wrong, but I also know how much she hurt me. I'm stuck between my resentment and my guilt, and I honestly don't know what to do next. If you found this story interesting, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one.